The new rendition of the Batman has drawn a lot of comparisons to the 1995 movie Seven. There are some obvious similarities, such as the setting of an ambiguous city that can't seem to recover from the crime that infests it.
Murder, robberies, assault. 2 years later, they're all up.
The attacker stabs him in both eyes. Now, this happened just last night, about 4 blocks from here.
Yeah, I read about it.
I don't understand this place anymore.
It's the way it's always been.
But does it really go any further than that? The major difference is that Seven is a movie that continually raises questions, while Batman is a movie that continually gives you answers. When the Batman is confronted with the killings, he always has the answer to the riddles.
What are we looking for? Thumb drive.
Batman and Gordon briefly talk it over. Gordon is always confused and baffled, and then Batman suddenly comes up with the answer. Batman has an inner conflict with opposing emotions that are brought on by the loss of his father.
What I'm doing is my family's legacy. If I can't change things here, if I can't have an effect, I don't care what happens to me.
He desires to carry on the legacy of his father and improve the city, while at the same time wants revenge for his father's murder.
Vengeance.
The movie addresses the subject of revenge by comparing the Batman's motives to the Riddler's. Batman explains his motives while talking to Alfred in the hospital.
I haven't got past this fear of ever going through any of that again. Of losing somebody I care about.
And the Riddler explains his motives to Batman in the interrogation scene.
There's 30 kids to a room. 12 years old and already a drop it, numbing the pain. You wake up screaming with rats, chewing your fingers, and every winter one of the babies die because it's so cold. But oh no. Let's talk about the billionaire with the lying dead daddy, because at least the money makes it go down easy, doesn't it?
One of the best scenes that sums up the conflict is actually a deleted scene between Batman and the Joker.
Just terrified. Because you're not sure he's wrong, huh? You think they deserved it, huh? You think they deserved it.
The only time Batman's faith is tested is when Riddler reveals his father's dealings with Falcone. Batman questions everything he has done up to this point and sees the justification of Riddler's actions, but is immediately given the answers to his questions about his father by Alfred.
All these years, I've spent fighting for him, believing that he was a good man.
He was a good man. Your father was a good man.
He had a man killed. Why? To protect his family image.
It wasn't to protect the family image, and he didn't have anyone killed. He was protecting your mother.
The audience knows exactly why the characters feel the way they feel, and there are clear answers for the audience to grab onto. When the Batman ends, it has a voiceover monologue explaining the result of the disaster and giving the audience the clear answer that hope is better than revenge.
I have had an effect here, but not the one I intended. Vengeance won't change the past. People need hope. To know someone's out there for them.
Although it gives you that answer, there is no justification for it. Things have gotten worse, and the Riddler's plans went as intended. Batman claims he has an impact, just not the one he intended, but there's no evidence of that. Nowhere in the movie is the Batman looked as a symbol of hope for Gotham, and the film ends with Catwoman abandoning the city. In Seven, the conflict is played out between Detective Mills and Somerset. Somerset at the end of his career feels that all his efforts have been in vain.
Won't be the first time you've left unfinished.
Those other cases were taken as close to conclusion as humanly possible.
While Mills still believes that he can make an impact.
You want me to agree with you, and you want me to say, yeah, you're right, it's all fucked up, it's a fucking mess, we should all go live in a fucking log cabin. But I won't.
Mills and Somerset are continually tested throughout the film. Both are baffled by the killings and are always a step behind.
Honestly,
John Doe doesn't have a direct motive in the same way that Riddler does. Instead of political corruption, he targets his own idea of what human nature is, by representing his killings with the 7 deadly sins.
There are 7 deadly sins, Captain. Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7.
John Doe despises what he thinks of human nature, including himself.
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, baby.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Both detectives have their ideas reinforced by the killings. Mill believes that John Doe is a mentally ill, crazy person that simply needs to be caught and thrown in prison.
He's a nutbag. Just because the fucker's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda.
Somerset sees that they might never catch him, and even if they do, what impact would that have anyway?
If we catch John Doe, and he turns out to be the devil, I mean, if he's Satan himself, that might live up to our expectations, but he's not the devil. He's just a man.
Mills and Somerset continually debate their feelings toward apathy.
I just don't think I can continue to live in a place that embraces and nurtures apathy as if it was a virtue.
You know different. You know better.
I didn't say I was different or better. I'm not. Hell, I sympathize. I sympathize completely. Apathy is a solution.
We are talking about people who are mentally ill. We are talking about people fucking crazies.
No,
yes.
we're not. No.
Today.
We're talking about everyday life here.
So you bitch and you complain and you tell me these things and you scream me. If you think you're preparing me for hard times, thank you, but
You gotta be a hero. You want to be a champion. Well, let me tell you, people don't want a champion. They want to eat cheeseburgers, play the lotto, and watch television.
hey, how did you get like this?
7 raises questions at the end of the film with the what's in the box moment.
What's in the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
Just told you.
Mills gives in to taking revenge on John Doe. And the lasting effect on him is unknown.
We'll take care of him.
Whatever he needs.
Somerset closes the film with a voiceover saying,
The world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part.
in the resulting finish, 7 comes across way more sinister than Batman. Somerset is left maintaining his cynical outlook on the world. They don't explain John Doe, and they don't tell you what happens to Mills. Much like real life, you're left to go on after the film thinking about all the possible things that could explain what happened and what will happen. There is no hero with a clear answer. It's just normal people having to navigate an abnormal world.